I remember what my body felt like at 22 years old in the Navy. I didn't appreciate it at the time. You can't, not at that age. You just go. You run because the morning demands it. You move because stopping isn't an option. Your body performs, and you take that performance completely for granted because you've never known anything else. I think about that body now because somewhere between then and now, things change. The weight came on, not all at once, but steadily. The blood pressure started creeping in the wrong direction. The drinks that used to be occasionally become the drinks I look forward to at the end of a long week. And then it started the end of a long day. Not only did the drinks get more and more, the food that used to be a treat became the pattern. The workouts that used to be mandatory became optional. And then they became rare and then almost gone, right? My body kept sending messages quietly at first, then louder. I kept being too busy, too tired, too committed to everything else to read my body. Then I watched people I love, people in my own family, pay the full price for the same thing. And the full price in this context, it means what it means. This is episode 6, the H in fresh, the health pillar. And this one hits differently, peeps, because unlike the other pillars, you don't get a second body. Welcome back, peeps. I'm Echols, operations manager, founder of Decoding Wealth built on the side, which you're listening to right now. Everything I build on top of a full-time career. Same as most of you. Before we go any further, I mean this especially for this episode. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I don't have a degree in nutrition, fitness, or anything health related. What I have is my body, my experiences, my family story, the hard education that comes from watching what happens when you don't take care of the one thing you can never replace. That's what this episode is. Lived experience. Share it honestly. If anything I say today about blood pressure, about drinking, about weight, about feeling run down reflects something you've been noticing yourself, please, by all means, go see a doctor, a real one. Don't let pride or fear or I don't have time be the reason you don't get checked out. Those are the exact reasons people wait too darn long, and it's ridiculous. I'm not a substitute for a physician. I'm somebody who learned the hard way and is willing to talk about it out loud. All right, that's the real talk. Let's get into this. This is episode 6 again, the health pill, the last of the 5 fresh method pillars. And if you've been with me all season, you know by now, this pillar don't exist in isolation. What happens in one room affects every other room. Your health is no different. Matter of fact, your health is the foundation all the others stand on. Let's talk about it, right? I want to be specific because vague is easy and specific is useful. Here's what the drift looked like for me. The weight came on slowly, the way it always does. A few pounds here, a few more there. The pants that used to fit fine start fitting differently. They're a little tight around the belly. You tell yourself, it's the cut of the fabric. Then you tell yourself, man, I just been too busy to go work out. Then you stop getting on the scale because the scale stopped being your friend, right? I wasn't eating terribly per se, not by the standard of a busy person, managing drivers, running a real estate operation on the side. I was eating the food that was available, the food that was fast, the food that was comfortable after the long day. And comfort food is called that for a reason. It works in the moment. The bill definitely comes later. Then the drinking, right? I've talked about this before in episode 4 when we got into the emotional pillar. But I want to come at it from a different angle because there's the emotional side to it, and then there's the physical side. And both are real. The physical side is this. Drinking became a pattern that I didn't fully see as a pattern until I started looking at it honestly. It wasn't every night dramatic. It was gradual, a release valve for the pressure. After enough days, started before sunrise and ended after midnight. The drink at the end of the night started feeling like the reward. And when the reward becomes the expectation and the expectation becomes a routine, that's when the body starts pain, disrupted sleep, weight holding in ways it didn't used to. Energy that used to be reliable became inconsistent. Recovery time going up. Small thing, but they accumulated over time. The blood pressure was the crazy thing. That one came through a regular check at the doctor's PA. Kind of almost didn't go because I was feeling fine. And when they told me the number, panic, irrational. Like a high stress job. I work long hours. I'll watch what I eat. I'll cut back on the salt. But your body, let me tell you something. It doesn't negotiate. It doesn't care about the excuses. It doesn't adjust the bill because you had a lot going on. The blood pressure was telling me something I've been too busy to hear. The system, my body, my system was under strain, and that strain was compounding. Here's the lie busy people tell themselves, and I told it for years. I function fine. You probably do. You probably perform at highest level right. Even reading this, showing up, delivering, running operation. That's what makes this dangerous. High functioning people can stay high functioning on a depleted body for a long time until guess what? Until you can't anymore. The body doesn't announce it when it reaches its limit. It just reaches it. And the unfortunate part is very grim. The grind acts everything in your body and gives very little back of its all. That's the deal. You make the choice when to hustle. The problem isn't the hustle. The problem is thinking the body is infinitely renewable. It isn't. What you don't invest in your health today, you'll spend in your health later. The only question is whether you spend it your terms or on your body's terms. I need to talk about my family, okay? I watch a lot of people I love, people in my own family struggle with their health in ways that were. Some of them are still fighting those battles today. And unfortunately, as much as I miss them, some of them are gone. I'm not going to put every detail out there because this isn't my story alone to tell. But I will say this. Watching someone you love deal with the consequences of years of neglect, complications, the hospital visits, the limitations, the loss, it changes something in you. And it's emotional. When it's abstract, it's easy to ignore. When it's your family member in the hospital bed, it stops being abstract. You start running the math in your head, not to be cruel, because you can't help it. You think about the years of the wrong food, the wrong habits, the stress that never got managed, the checkups that never happened, and you think the signs were there. The body was sending messages, and for whatever reason, and there's tons of them, there's the pride, there's fear, there's stubbornness. It's just being too busy. Those messages didn't get acted on time, unfortunately. And then you look in the mirror because the same blood runs through your veins, the same tendencies, the same habits. And you have the thing that didn't have in that moment, which is time and the ability to choose to do something different. I think about them when I don't feel like doing anything about my health, when the excuse is ready and the couch is comfortable and the day was long. I think about sitting in the hospital room. I think about what it looks like when the body finally stops negotiating. And that's a hard thing to think about. That's not motivation out of fear. It's motivation out of love for the people that didn't get the chance to turn it around. And for the people in my life right now who need me to still be here, still be healthy, still present in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Legacy isn't just what you leave when you're gone. It's whether you're actually around to build it. You can have the real estate. You can have the financial freedom. You can have the relationships, the spiritual anchor, the emotional intelligence. And if the body just gives out before you get to enjoy any of it, and before you get to show up for people counting on you, what in the heck was it all for? The health pillar isn't about vanity. It's not about a number on a scale, a six-pack, a marathon. It's about being functional, present, capable for the long run. It's about giving people you love the version of you that actually shows up, not depleted, not running off fumes. That's technically there, but not really present. You understand what I'm saying? My family members who struggle, I carry them into this conversation, and I carry them into every decision I make about how I treat this. Here's what changed. The blood pressure number was the alarm that finally cut through. Not because it was catastrophic, it wasn't, but because I couldn't rationalize in the way I'd been rationalizing everything else. It was a number, measurable, objective. The body sending a bill and in language I couldn't reframe. And right around the same time, early 2025, when I was told you across 3 episodes that the real reckoning hit, the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, all started arriving at the same address. Can't separate them. When I started looking honestly at my emotional life, I could have avoided looking at what I'd been doing to manage my stress. The drinking, the food, the sleep I wasn't protecting. It was all connected. The body keeps score. That's not a metaphor, it's a fact. Every night of poor sleep, every bottle used as a stress valve, every meal wrapped fast, because there's no time to think about it. Every workout skipped because the schedule was too full. The body logs it. It doesn't forget. It doesn't give you a pass. It just carries the total forward. And the total, regardless of what, one day will come due. What changed for me wasn't one dramatic moment of transformation. It was deciding, practically, specifically, that this was a pillar I was going to tend to like the other. Not perfectly, not overnight, but intentionally. Because intention is what separates the people who reverse the drift from the people who don't. But peeps, here are 3 moves. Not the moves of someone who has it all figured out. The moves of someone who's in it with you, doing the work, learning what actually holds. Move 1, go get checked this week. Get your body checked. If you haven't had a physical recently, blood pressure, blood work, basic picture, stop putting it off. The thing you're afraid of finding doesn't get smaller by not looking. It gets bigger. Make the appointment. Not someday, this week. And if something comes back that needs attention, handle it. Pride has cost people I love years of their life. Don't let it cost you the same. Move 2. Make a swap. Not a revolution. One swap. The all or nothing approach to health is the reason most people stay exactly where they are. You commit to a full lifestyle overhaul. Last 2 weeks, life gets busy, and you're back where you started with an added layer of guilt. One swap. Pick one thing. The late night drinks, mate. Cut them down 2 nights a week instead of every night. The fast food lunch. Swap it for something real, 3 days a week. The zero movement. Add a 15-minute walk in the morning. One swap, held consistently for 30 days. That's how you rebuild a relationship with your own health. Not with a revolution, with a commitment you can actually keep. Move 3. Sleep like it's a business decision, because it is. I'm going to tell you, you got to get your sleep. Every major decision you make in your career, your business, your relationships, is filtered through a brain running on the sleep you either got or you didn't get the night before. A tired brain makes worse decisions. A tired body leads worse. A depleted version of you shows up for the people you're responsible for and gives them less than they deserve. Protect 7 hours. It's not laziness, it's maintenance. The machine has to be serviced. You wouldn't run your fleet on empty. Don't run yourself that way. Before we close, 3 questions. Your health check for this week. Question 1. When did I last get a real checkup? Blood pressure, blood work, the basics. If the answer is I can't remember, that's your answer. Question 2. What is the one habit that's costing my body the most right now? And what's the smallest real swap I can make this week? Question 3. Who in my life is watching how I take care of myself? Are my kids watching? Are the people I work with watching? What am I modeling? The last one matters. The people around you are taking notes on how you treat your own body. Whether you know it or not, you're teaching them something. Make sure it's the right thing, especially for your kids. Your challenge this week, make the appointment, make one swap, and protect your sleep for 7 days straight. 7 days. That's it. Report back to yourself on Sunday and see what changed. So my peep, that's the health pillar. That's the last of 5. We've been through all fresh now. Financial, relationship, emotional, spiritual health. And I hope what you heard across these 6 episodes is this. Real wealth lives in 5 rooms. You skip one, the whole house gets wobbly. And health is your foundation. Everything else stands on it. If this one hit home, share it. Not because I need any numbers, because somebody in your circle needs to hear this today. Somebody who's been putting off the appointment, somebody who's been using the grind as the excuse. Send it to them. It might be the one thing that breaks through. And if it is, I will be so happy. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming. We're going deeper in every pillar. I've got episodes, conversations coming to you that you don't want to miss. And the DCW app. It's live right now at decodingwealth.net. DECODINGWE. 5 AI coaches, 1 for each pillar. The health coach is there when you need a check-in, a reset, or just somebody to ask the right question on a day where you're about to make a real bad choice. This is Decoding Wealth, Building the Side. I'm DF. Peace and elbow grease, my peace. Take care of your body. It's the only one you got.